What's up guys, Michael Kamalu here, aka Dr. Gaines, and in this video I'm going to go over one of my favorite ways to hit the lateral head of the triceps. First, I'll show you how it's done, and then we'll get into why it works. This exercise is done by grabbing the cables opposite of each hand, so they should be crossing in front of you. Then, with your elbows tucked into your sides, you slowly extend your arms out while simultaneously rotating your arms externally so that your thumbs end up pointing. Now, why does this hit the lateral head of the triceps? Well, first, brief overview of the basics. The triceps has 3 heads: long head, medial head, and lateral head. And when you look at these from the back, you'll notice that the long head is located on the medial side of the arm, or closer in towards the body, whereas the lateral head is, surprise, located on the lateral side of the arm, or the outside of it. So a general rule of thumb to know is that whenever you're doing tricep extensions, if your thumb is pointed medially, then you are going to be working more the medial head of the triceps. In other words, the long head of the triceps. If your thumb is pointing out, or externally, or laterally, then you're going to be getting more contraction on the lateral head of the triceps. Now, with that said, I want to be clear. Anytime you are extending the elbow joint, you are activating all 3 heads. It's not possible to completely isolate one versus the other because all 3 have the same insertion point. They all cross the elbow joint, and so whenever you're extending the elbow, you're going to be activating all 3. However, you can use the relative anatomy of each head in order to get more activation on one versus the other. And so again, medial rotation of the arm while extending the elbow is going to get more contraction on the long head than the lateral head. And external rotation during extension of the elbow is going to get more contraction in the lateral head of the triceps. Now I want to give you a couple tips on your form during this exercise because, as with all weightlifting exercises, form is a lot more important than how much weight you are lifting. So first key here in the form is that you're going to want to keep your elbows to the side of your body, meaning you're not going to want to start with your elbows in front of your body and then end with them behind your body. Because what's going to happen there, well, you're going to bring in all of the powerful back muscles and they're going to take away load from the triceps. You're going to be working your back more than you will your triceps. So in order to prevent that, try to keep your elbows in the relative same plane as your body and only be extending your arms from there. Now, it's inevitable that you are going to be activating your back muscles a little bit with this movement, but you can try to prevent that as much as possible by keeping those elbows in the same plane as your body. Second key tip is do not swing. So you don't want to grab the cables and then swing out and use the momentum of the weight to pull it for you. You'll notice that my extensions are slow and controlled. I'm not swinging, I'm not using the momentum of the weight. It is only my triceps that are moving that weight and nothing else. And then third, you'll notice that as I extend my arms, I lean backwards. The reason for that is because whenever you're using a cable, the maximum amount of resistance is always when the cable is 90 degrees to whatever motion you are doing. I will go in depth in another video on the 90-degree principle and why that's so important, especially when using cables. But for now, just trust me, you'll want to try and keep your arm as close to 90 degrees as possible with the cable in order to maximize the resistance. So by leaning backwards, I maintain that 90 degrees as much as possible. If I did not, for example, and I were to just extend my arm like this, then at the end of that movement, my arm is almost in line with the cable. And that means I'm not getting much resistance at all. Whereas if I'm back here, then 90 degrees and I'm getting maximum resistance. And finally, make sure you are using opposite cables. So your left arm is grabbing the cable on the right side of your body. Why is that? It has to do with the 90-degree principle again. Because we are doing external rotation of the arm and moving our elbow laterally, we want that resistance to come from the opposite direction. If you're getting it from straight in front of you, then you're not getting as much lateral resistance to your elbow. So by using the cable across from your arm, you're getting even more optimization of the 90-degree principle. You're getting more resistance to the lateral movement of your arm and therefore hitting the lateral head even better. Guys, if you like this video, I would love to hear your feedback in the comments below. And if you have specific requests on muscles, muscle groups, lifts, injuries, anything that you want me to go over, please take a minute to fill out the form that I will put in the description below. Please take a minute to fill out the form that I will put in the description of the video below. I do use the input from that form in order to help me decide what content to prioritize, both in my social media videos and in the full online training programs that I am creating. As always, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any videos, share with your gym buddies. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.